Second millennium, Wikipedia article audio. The second millennium was a period of time that began on January 1, 1001 of the Julian calendar and ended on December 31, 2000 of the Gregorian calendar. It was the second period of 1000 years in the Anno Domini or Common Era. It is distinct from the millennium known as the 1000s, which began on January 1, 1000 and ended on December 31, 1999. It encompassed the High and Late Middle Ages, the Mongol Empire, the Renaissance, the Baroque era, the Early Modern Age, the Age of Enlightenment, the Age of Colonialism, Industrialization, the rise of nation-states, and the 19th and 20th century with the impact of science, widespread education, and universal healthcare and vaccinations in many nations. The centuries of expanding large-scale warfare with high-tech weaponry were offset by growing peace movements, the United Nations, plus doctors and health workers crossing borders to treat injuries and disease, and the return of the Olympics as contest without combat. Calendar. Civilizations. Scientists prevailed in explaining intellectual freedom. Humans took their first steps on the moon during the 20th century, and new technology was developed by governments, industry, and academia across the world, with education shared by many international conferences and journals. The development of movable type, radio, television, and the Internet spread information worldwide, within minutes, in audio, video, and print image format to inform, educate, and entertain billions of people by the end of the 20th century. The Renaissance saw the beginning of the second migration of humans from Europe, Africa, and Asia to the Americas, beginning the ever-accelerating process of globalization. The interwoven international trade led to the formation of multinational corporations, with home offices in multiple countries. International business ventures reduced the impact of nationalism in popular thought. The world population doubled over the first 7 centuries of the millennium and later increased tenfold over its last 3 centuries, exceeding 6 billion in 2000. Consequently, unchecked human activity had considerable social and environmental consequences, giving rise to extreme poverty, climate change, and biotic crisis. The second millennium was a period of time that began on January 1, 1001, and ended on December 31, 2000. It was the second period of 1000 years in the Anno Domini or Common Era. The Julian calendar was used in Europe at the beginning of the millennium, and all countries that once used the Julian calendar had adopted the Gregorian calendar by the end of it. So the end date is always calculated according to the Gregorian calendar, but the beginning date is usually according to the Julian calendar. Events. Stephen Jay Gould argued that it is not possible to decide if the millennium ended on December 31, 1999, or December 31, 2000. The Associated Press reported that the third millennium began on January 1, 2001, but also reported that celebrations in the U.S. were generally more subdued at the beginning of 2001, compared to the beginning of 2000. The second millennium is perhaps more popularly thought of as beginning and ending a year earlier, thus starting at the beginning of 1000 and finishing at the end of 1999. Many public celebrations for the end of the millennium were held on December 31, 1999, January 1, 2000, with few on the actual date a year later. Significant people. The civilizations in this section are organized according to the UN Geo Scheme. The events in this section are organized according to the UN Geo scheme. 1043 Es Nri Ifiqwanim becomes first king of Nri kingdom, 1054 Almoravid dynasty established, 1060 Kingdom of Kanem converts to Islam. Inventions, discoveries, introductions. 1000 Cahokia becomes regional chiefdom of Mississippian culture. Centuries and decades. 1005 Treaty of Shanyuan signed, 1008 The Tale of Genji completed, 1044 Gunpowder recipe published. Notes. 1054 The East-West Schism divides the Christian Church, 1088 The foundation of the First University, 1095 First Crusade. 1143 Almohad dynasty take control from the Almoravids, 1171 Salah ad-Din deposes Fatimid ruler of Egypt and establishes the Ayyubid dynasty, 1173 Ayyubids capture Kasr Ibram in Nubia. 1100 Toltecs establish capital at Tula, 1124 Arnaldur appointed first bishop of Greenland, 1175 Destruction of Toltec civilization. 1117 The magnetic compass is used at sea, 1120 Meng Yuan Lao describes four-star dining in Kaifeng, 1150 Construction of Angkor Wat, 1192 Defeat of Prithviraj Chauhan in Second Battle of Tarayan. 1169 Averroes translates Aristotle. 1200 Kingdom of Mwinmutapa established in Zimbabwe, 1203 Sumaguru Kanti of Saso conquers Kingdom of Ghana, 1250 Mamluk soldiers take Egypt from the Ayyubids. 1200 Chichen Itza abandoned, 1200 Kingdom of Cuzco founded, 1200 Expansion of Chimu state of Chimur. 1206 Genghis Khan builds an empire. 1215 Magna Carta, 1260 Dedication of the Cathedral at Chartres. Lists of people by nationality, category people by century, category people by nationality and period, Gottlieb, Agnes Hooper, Henry Gottlieb, Barbara Bowers, Brent Bowers. 1000 years, 1000 people, ranking the men and women who shaped the millennium. Kodansha International. ISBN 1-56836-253-6. 1279 Establishment of the oldest borders in Europe today, the Portuguese boundary. 1200 Tahitians colonize Hawaii. 1324 Musa's pilgrimage to Mecca, 1365 Crusade led by King of Cyprus sacks Alexandria, 1375 Kingdom of Songhai breaks away from Mali. 1315 Founding of Tenochtitlan, 1350 Norsemen abandon Greenland, 1350 War between Inca and Chimu. 1350 Coffee was first brewed, 1368 Zhu Yuanzhang ousts the Mongols from power. 1348 Black Plague, 1350 Emergence of fashion, 1382 Wycliffe's Bible. 1300 Polynesian immigration to New Zealand, 1300 Hawaiians develop class structure, 1300 huge stone statues erected on Easter Island. 1400 Capital of Sayfawa dynasty moved to Borno, 1400 Fungi settled Alodia, 1496 Spain conquers Melilla, Morocco. 1428 Aztecs conquer Azcapotzalco, ally with Texcoco and Tlacopan, become the dominant state in Mexico. 1470 Incas conquered Chimu Empire. 1492 Voyages of Christopher Columbus. 1407 Work begins on Forbidden City, Beijing. 1431 Ayutthaya conquers Angkor. 1413 The invention of modern linear perspective. 1453 Ottoman conquest of Constantinople. 1455 Gutenberg Bible printed. 1494 Luca Pacioli publishes the first work on accounting. 1498 Vasco da Gama discovers sea route to India. 1500 Discovery of Brazil by Pedro Alvarez Cabral. 1400 Tongans build ceremonial center at Mua. 1509 African slaves arrive in the Americas. 1517 Ottomans capture Egypt. 1535 Holy Roman Emperor Charles V conquers Tunis. 1546 Songhai Empire takes Niani. 1535 Europeans discover tobacco. 1537 Europeans discover potatoes. 1545 The discovery of silver in the Andes Mountains. 1517 The 95 Theses published. 1541 Publication of quartic function on the Ars Magna. 1543 Publication of On the Structure of the Human Body. 1596 Invention of the toilet. 1550 Maoris of New Zealand build fortified enclosures. 1600 Kingdom of Rwanda founded. 1600 Dahomey Kingdom founded. 1644 Start of the Charbuba. 1607 Virginia Colony founded. 1624 Manhattan Island purchased from Native Americans. 1697 Last Mayan resistance defeated. 1610 Tea spreads to the world. 1637 Japanese prohibition against European contact. 1603 First performance of Hamlet. 1610 Galileo publishes his observations of Jupiter. 1666 Discovery of gravitation. 1602 Ikonokupolu dynasty take power in Tonga. 1642 Abel Tasman sights New Zealand. 1700 Maravi Empire tears apart. 1754 Usman Dan Fodio is born. 1799 Discovery of the Rosetta Stone. 1742 Native American revolt against Spanish in Peru. 1776 United States Declaration of Independence published. 1751 Chinese occupy Tibet. 1760 Rise of the British rule in India. 1722 Bach composed the Well-Tempered Clavier. 1769 Invention of the steam engine. 1796 The first vaccination. 1795 Formation of the Kingdom of Hawaii. 1869 The Suez Canal opens. 1879 Battle of Isandlwana. 1896 Battle of Adwa. 1821 Bolivar liberates Venezuela. 1876 Menlo Park opens. 1876 First telephone transmission. 1868 End of Japanese seclusion. 1830 First steam railway. 1859 Origin of species. 1882 Germ theory proven. 1840 Treaty of Waitangi signed. 1845 New Zealand Land Wars. 1845 Formation of the Kingdom of Tonga by Tafaho. 1956 Suez Crisis. 1967 Six-Day War, 1994 End of Apartheid. 1903 First controlled, powered airplane flight, 1908 Ford builds the Model T, 1928 First television broadcast, 1942 Creation of the world's first nuclear reactor. 1969 First moon landing. 1917 The Russian Revolution, 1934 Mao's Long March, 1945 Atomic bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki, 1947 Partition of India, 1971 Formation of Bangladesh, 1992 Destruction of the Babri Mosque by Hindus. 1901 First transatlantic radio transmission, 1906 Alberto Santos Dumont realizes the first officially recorded powered flight in Europe, 1914 Beginning of World War I, 1918 End of World War I, 1922 Establishment of Italian fascism, 1928 Discovery of penicillin, 1933 Adolf Hitler appointed Chancellor of Germany, 1939 Beginning of World War II, 1945 End of World War II. 1915 Australians and New Zealanders serve in the Gallipoli Campaign, 1985 Nuclear-free zone established in New Zealand, 2000 Autonomous Bougainville government established. The people in this section are organized according to the UN Geo scheme. Muhammad Tour, Ibn Khaldun, Bibars, Kato Kintu. See also